Welcome back to Sub-Zero Hero. So I think it's safe to say that Season 10 didn't get off to the greatest of starts. We lost 2-1 against Starbeck in our opener of the season. So what you really don't want in your next game is to go and play Rosenborg, who last season beat you 6-3 and you gave away 3 penalties. Well, what happened this time? We lost 5-0 and we gave away 3 penalties. It was not our greatest hour. So we'd suffered back-to-back defeats to kick off the new season. In today's episode, we've got a cup game, and guess who we're playing? That's right, we are up against Rosenborg again, but this time, do not worry, we've got a cunning plan. Okay, to that cunning plan, and granted we're playing fast and loose with the term cunning. It's a plan, whether it's cunning or not, time will tell. My money is on the not. We've had the scout report in about Rosenborg. Remember, this is a team that have put 6 and 5 past us in the previous 2 games. They play with a positive mentality. They've got a great striker, Carlo Holst, who's taken 6 penalties against us in the last 2 times we've played them. Behind him, backing him up, they have got pace, they've got agility, and they have got dribbling out on the wings. That's their left winger, in fact. Probably their right winger that's even better. Look at the agility, look at the pace. Look at the dribbling. Our fullbacks are going to be up against it today. And then in the hole, they play an Ungarch. And what a player this is, by the way. Bora Stulverling, who's 18 years old. Great stamina, work rate, teamwork. He's got good passing, good technique. He is a worry. Last 2 times we've played them, we've unsuccessfully tried to shut them down by playing a conservative defensive brand of football. So today, even though we are away for this cup tie, we're going to go on the front foot against a team that's beat us comfortably in the last 2 games. We're going to play a positive mentality ourselves, fight fire with, not really fire, maybe a flicker of a flame. We're going to play a higher defensive line and a much higher line of engagement. I've just shown you how pacey their attack is. Our defence is the most pedestrian you could imagine, but we're going to take the game to them. We're going to press beyond your wildest dreams, even though we showed you the technique. These boys that we're playing, they can pass around our press quite comfortably. We're also going to play the counter press as well, so as soon as they win back possession, we're going to be on them like very pedestrian flies on horse manure. We're also going to play quite narrow when we're attacking so that when we do lose the ball, which I'm imagining is going to be most of our attacks, at least we're a little bit more compact to try and recover our shape and go back and press them. Now, this is a tactical style that we're not particularly familiar with. We had a great time in pre-season trying to blood a new 4-3-3 tactic. It was an absolute disaster when we played it at the start of the season, so we're back to the 4-4-2. It's allowed us to recover somewhat, although we have not been convincing in the games we've played so far. So to that form then, and our tactical journey, all through pre-season we were blooding a 4-3-3, and we got some decent results against some very good teams that gave me hope. Hope that you saw punctured in the last episode where we played a team that's expected to struggle against relegation this season, and even though we probably dominated possession, we didn't really create great chances, and they managed to beat us 2-1. And then in the next game where we played Rosenborg, well, we were the home team, but we were made to look like children playing an adult's game. It was a tough little experience for us. So we started panicking, and we started tweaking the tactics. We went for a 5 at the back approach for a cup game against a non-league team. We were only able to beat them 2-0. So we changed it around. We went back to a 4-3-3, but rather than 1 defensive midfielder, we played 2. And it allowed us to get a result against Haugesund, which probably we didn't deserve, but we kept a clean sheet. So I kept it for the next game. But we were wretched, and we were very lucky to escape with a point against another team not exactly fancied for this season. So we tweaked some more. We started going asymmetric. We played a team that's from the division below us in the cup. We were very lucky to scrape past them. They were far, far better than us in this game. In fact, it's only a penalty that gave us any kind of hope at all in that game. So we tweaked again, and against Mulder it was perhaps as bad a performance as we saw against Rosenborg. They put 3 past us. It could have been considerably worse for us. So we went back to the 4-4-2. We played another team from the division below us in the cup, and the 4-4-2 worked. We got a 3-1 win. And then we got another win in the league in our next game against Kristiansund. And we perhaps were a little bit fortunate to have got a late winner in this game, but at least we were scoring goals again. And then we knocked 5 past Arlesund. We were 2-0 up. They looked like they were coming back at us a little bit, but we managed to get a 5-2 victory in the end before we actually started keeping some clean sheets with our 4-4-2. So we scraped out a 1-0 victory over Viking, and then a 2-0 victory in our last game against Sandefjord, although this was not really a 2-0 kind of game. They had an XG that was almost 3. Part of that was missing a penalty, granted, but we were fortunate in this game. We've got some decent results and we're on a good run of form since we switched back to the 4-4-2, but we are not playing particularly well. The game against Viking, again, you can see we were fortunate to get a 1-0 victory in that game. We're going to stick with the 4-4-2 today, but we're going on the front foot. We're just going to see whether we can try and stir ourselves against very tough opposition. The results we have got, though, have made the table look pretty healthy. After losing 2 of the opening 2 games, be sitting in 5th after 9 games on 16 points when the teams down in the relegation zone are on 2 and 4 respectively. Well, we're doing okay in terms of our league position. We're certainly not thinking about European football, but we have recovered because it looked like this season could be an absolute disaster when we started. But today, it's all about the cup, and it's all about trying to go out there and pull off an upset by taking the game to one of the best in the nation. Let's see who we're going to play. So here's our first little bit of news for you. Old Hugo Emps has missed the last month of the season. He had a hernia, God bless him. And he's back in training as of yesterday, but nowhere near match sharp. We're going to pop him on the bench because you never know, we might be in a game with 10 minutes to go where the 6'7" target man might be useful for us. But it means up front today, we're going to be playing little Chrissy Nuts. The reason we're playing him, we're going to try and harry the Rosenborg back line. This guy likes to be a pressing forward when he plays up front, and he's also got teamwork of 16 and work rate of 11, and he's fairly quick as well. He can't tackle for toffee, but we're going to play him up there with Harvigsson, who's actually been in good goal-scoring form for us this season. 6 goals in 9 Premier Division starts. Not a bad return. We're going to play the pace of Schönerson over on the right. He's another player that's had a pretty decent season for us. 2 assists and 2 goals in his 9 appearances so far. Not too bad. We're going to be playing over on the left wing Hugo Riding, who we've played there for our last few games since we switched back to a 4-4-2 to allow Harvigsson to move up and be the second striker. We're going to be playing Hugo, though, not as a winger because he's never really trained on with those physicals as much as we'd liked. He's not the quickest, but with teamwork of 15 and work rate of 11, he can get up and down that line a little bit. So we're going to ask him to be a wide midfielder, a presence in the box as well. Someone that's going to work hard out there over on the flanks and help protect our back line. Now, we're not playing our strongest back line for this game. We're playing our quickest back line instead. Whether that's a sensible plan or not is going to be open to debate. We're going to be playing Kristoffersson, who's got pace of 15 and acceleration of 15. Gives him at least a fighting chance against the winger he's up against. A player who does not have a fighting chance is just a sacrificial lamb, I'm afraid, is young Oscar Berg. He's got pace of 11, acceleration of 11. He is going to get torn to shreds, but by playing him over there at fullback, it means we can bring Mats Nesser in at centre half. He's our quickest central defender. Acceleration of 14 and pace of 12 is the best that we can muster. He's not great aerially, but I don't think Rosenborg are going to be either. And even if they are, We've got Tromsdalen Bratton, who pace-wise is going to be the weak link at the back for us, but he is a good all-round defender and he's been playing pretty well this season. So we're hoping that he can help marshal us back there. The guy, I think, who's going to have to do a lot of work today if we're going to be in this game is Bjorn again Pedersen. Again, you can see from his average rating that he has been worked pretty hard this season and he's played pretty well, including saving a penalty or two this season so far. And we're up against Rosenborg, so it's something he might have to do again today to try and keep us in the cup. Okay, we are underway. How long will we be able to hold out in this game? Your guess is as good as mine. If you had 7 minutes in that little sweepstake, well, here we go. We're into the highlights. Strangely, it looked like for a moment it was us that was coming forward, but it was just a meaningless cross into the box that we were not able to capitalise on. However, we're now racing towards 15 minutes before Rosenborg score their first goal. How would you Adam and Eve it? It's an indirect free kick that they have headed into our net, and the amount of times we are conceding from these indirect free kicks. It's not that we don't have the players back. It's not that we haven't trained our defensive set pieces. Our players don't jump, and a lot of our players have got very low bravery and very low aggression. And it means that we are just not competing airily for these set pieces. Well, I'm very glad we went for this positive approach on the front foot. It's led to us having no shots during the opening 23 minutes of the game. Forgive me, I pause to shout that I demand more. We haven't been ripped apart yet, I would say, considering the high line that we're playing, but neither have we even had a sniff of a chance against them. Now we've thrown the ball into their box, though. It's not a chance for us, though, is it? We've been caught upfield, and here is that Ngonch. They've put it out to their left winger, and he's slung in another one. And well, we got a little bit lucky. Now we got a break of our own. Sjørnesson's got the pace. He's got no delivery about him, but he's got the pace. And he slung a ball over, to be fair to him. Look at us, we've won the ball back. We are keeping going. Maybe we should put shoot on sight on, just to try and get an effort in on their goal. Okay, well, we've won a corner. This is a better watch than the previous 2 games have been against them. And we've not given away a penalty as of yet. Without Hugo Emper in our team, we're not quite as threatening from our own set plays as we would normally. Maybe we'll try and give Hugo the last half an hour or so, perhaps. 3 shots we've had now. We've restricted them to 9, and we're racing our way towards half-time. Tentatively, I'm going to say that's not a terrible performance. A set-piece conceded goal aside, we've done okay in that game. Time to have a little bit of a word with the boys. Maybe make a tactical tweak. We'll see you for the second half. Okay, we're back underway. We have made a couple of little tweaks. I've pushed the tempo up a little bit, and I've also changed our fullbacks onto wing-backs on support, to see whether they can perhaps be a little bit more of a threat to us going forward. And now we're off. Little Knutson, he's up against a back line all by himself. At least that was a highlight for us. Even if it was a counter-attacking one. Oh no, set piece time again. And they have sent a free kick wide, but their chances so far have been fairly limited, haven't they? We're getting towards the half an hour mark. I'm thinking at 30 minutes to go, we might bring Hugo on and just see whether he can make the difference for us. In fact, I think that is the change that we are going to make. Now, we're not going to have him as a pressing forward. Instead, we're going to have him as a role that it says he can't play, but he performs pretty well in. Let's get Hartfigson going as the pressing forward instead. He does have pretty good work rate again, so maybe he might be able to harry those defenders and Emper can just go up there as an aerial presence. We've got other poor performances all over the pitch. Herem's looking poor, Nessa, well, basically all of the back line. In fact, all of the team are putting in pretty poor performances, but we can't take them all off. Let's see if we could shock the Norwegian footballing world and grab an equaliser before we ship 3 or 4 late goals. And we can do that. Little Jonas brother has got a volley in. That was a nice little finish. Schöneson has gone down the right. He's slung the ball in. And what a little effort that was by young Jonas. He has rewarded us for moving him up front since the switch to the 4-4-2. What a finish that is. We're going to pause. And we need to get a little shout going. I think what we're going to do is encourage or praise. Encourage or praise. Praise them for being back in the game against a team that's a lot better than them. Or encourage them to go and get another one. We'll go encourage. It's probably the wrong call. We'll find out in a second. Oh no, the body language has gone green. Now let's allow Rosenborg to open up and score 4 or 5 against us. I have noticed, by the way, that when our players go towards the opposition to make tackles, in the last 6 or 7 games or so, they all seem to be flinching as they make their challenges. And I'm not sure what the game's telling me with that. Is that to do with our bravery, our aggression, the fact that we're not playing get stuck in? They seem very timid, our players. However, they're on the ball, so let's not do them down. They were on the ball. Now it's that player. It's that Dane. He's a dangerous little proposition. Here's their left winger. Don't dive in. Oscar Berg, he knows best. He's dived him. May have got himself... No, I thought he was going to get a second booking there. Penalty number 7, by the way, in 3 games. And now they are back in front. We're going to nudge it up to attacking. We're also going to, and we can't put out another shout yet, I was going to demand a little bit more, 7 penalties in just over 2.5 games. Big team bias? Now, I don't want to be the one to say it, but 7 penalties seems a little bit excessive, and they're not done yet. If our recent games are anything to go by, they've got a couple more penalties to earn yet. This guy up front occupies all 4 of our defenders just by himself. Pedersen's had to do well there, and they are offside. Can we get the shout out now? We can. We've gone attacking. We've demanded more. He was well offside there, to be fair. Good stop by Pedersen. We're still in the game, you know. We're still in it. This will put us out of it, but I'm not disappointed with how we've played so far. This team is, remember, so much better than us. We are 900 to 1 shots to win the Norwegian Premier Division. Rosenborg are the second favourites, so we've played a little bit better. We're closing them down without making any kind of tackles whatsoever. I feel like as we're tiring, they're starting to take advantage a little bit now. And here comes another penalty, perhaps? No, we've got the ball. Here's little Hugo riding. He's got Hugo Emper completely free. Probably best not to use him. Instead, play the easy pass, 3 yards to your right. And don't even get that right. We are still developing some of these players, shall we say. I think we also need to make a couple more little changes, don't we? Okay, so here's the changes that we are thinking. We've got poor performances from Riding and Herram and Dusendibsen and Christofferson. And lots of players. We can't change them all. We're going to bring Gersa on for Riding and swap Schöneson over on to the left-hand side. And we're trying to get back in the game here. So let's even push these players even further forward. He's going to be an inverted winger on attack. We're also going to make a change in midfield. We're going to bring on Ole Christian Jensen. He's going to swap and let Dusendibsen play the playmaker role. He's going to swap out and be a ball-winning midfielder who's just going to get about the park and try and put some tackles in. 20 minutes we've got to try and grab a shock equaliser. Not looking likely here. They've got another set play. We've headed it clear. At least we defended that one a little bit better than we have some of the others. Still more work to do though. Here's that Callie who always gets forward. Here's a danger. And we're going to look for another little shout. We're going to go for demand more again. What's happening? We've got a corner. Hugo's on now, by the way. but he can't get anywhere near it. And now they're coming at us. We really needed Hugo to win that one. And the New Zealand player, Auckland, I thought he'd won another penalty for him. There's Jensen. That's what we brought him on for, to win the ball. He's fresh at least. Okay, what are we going? We're going into the last 10 minutes. We've not been brutally exposed given our high defensive line, I would say. We have picked our very fastest players back there. Alright, we were exposed a little bit that time, but we weren't really pushed up, were we? We were on the edge of the 6-yard box. Now we need to get the ball away and counter again. We've got Shernison. He's off. He's got support up with him. He's not going to use it. Here he goes. Now he tries to cross it over. Granted, he's playing on the wrong side, really, to be putting it in with his left foot. And I think we're going to suffer a defeat. 2-1, though, is not the worst we have played against one of the big sides. It's going to send us out of the cup for another season. But it does give me a little something to think about in terms of our style of play. Maybe we could be more aggressive than I've given us credit for if we just pick those quicker defenders, push the line up, push the line of engagement up. Maybe there's something for us to work with there. Let's just say unlucky, keeps the morale going. I don't think a 2-1 defeat against the best team in the country is going to sap their morale too much. And now, well, we're back into concentrating on the league. We're in 5th place. We've got a game against Salzburg coming up next. They're down in 13th. And then we've got some of the big teams to play. We've got Brann coming, who are 3rd. We've got Vålerenga, who are currently top. And we've got Bodø Glimt, who are in 4th. Those 3 games could be pretty tricky little propositions. We're going to see how we get on, and next time you come back, we'll tell you whether we're any closer to turning this team of youngsters into a team of Sub-Zero heroes.